Oh no, my camera's not working. Just kidding. I forgot to pull the lens cap off. Hope y'all can hear me. Welcome to the Damn Challenge. I hope you have had a lovely week and are excited to kick your weekend off with some awesome maps. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. If you're new here, welcome. If you have any questions throughout the stream, feel free to ask. And today's stream is a special stream where we show off maps from a bi-weekly map-making contest. We host an ongoing map-making competition called the Damn Challenge, which is essentially a themed challenge where we pick a theme every 2 weeks, and then users are challenged to make a map in that time, submit their map, and if their map is the winner, they're the first map feature on the stream, getting a lot of FaceTime, and they win a $10 Hero Forge gift card. And lastly, their map is featured promptly in our Cartomancer Chronicles, which is our weekly newsletter. Anyway, kind of moving on from the introductory stuff, I just want to say welcome to you all and say hello to those who have started chatting. I just want to make sure I get all our chats working because I'm noticing right now that TikTok crashed. So give me just one moment, TikTok. I'm trying to validate your existence right now. Jeremy, I cannot offhand. I'm sorry. I don't really know of any offhand. Let me get Steam in here. How you doing, Swedish Cook, Gamroot, and Ginger Power? Welcome, welcome. But Jeremy, if you're still here, I'm sorry, I actually don't have any advice for you there. I don't know what it is. I'm not much of a podcast person. When I'm listening to audio, I just listen to music or audiobooks, you know? Usually don't listen to other people talking. It's not my forte. So, we've got feeds live on all major platforms right now. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Steam. I'm watching all chats, and if you have any questions or concerns related to the stream or the maps or Dungeon Alchemist, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to address them. One quick announcement before we get started. We actually have a new mod on board today. I put out the call a week or two ago asking if anyone may be interested in taking on a potential moderator role in the stream. And to be honest with you, I was, just kind of putting out feelers to see if anyone would be interested. And one person reached out to me and we chatted a little bit about it. And honestly, I feel like they will be a good mod for the team. But, you know, let's just call it a tentative test to see how they do as a temporary moderator. Test drive, so to speak, and they can get a feel for it, see if it's something they like. But without further ado, I'd like to welcome Atlam as a new interim moderator to the Twitch stream. Keep in mind that is to the Twitch stream only. That is not, to like Discord or other platforms. So we're just kind of focusing right here. I think it'll be good to have some extra manpower on the streams as we've been multi-streaming across all the platforms. Our existing moderators are spread thin across multiple platforms trying to watch YouTube, Facebook, all these different things. So it does help tremendously to have, a couple extra hands on deck. So thank you, Atlam, for volunteering. And we hope this works out in the best interest of everyone. I hope you enjoy it, my friend. Let's just say that. So, getting to the map at hand, check out this damn map. So this was shared by Zentic, and it is a sci-fi themed map, and they took Battlegrounds to the max here. It looks kind of like something out of Starship Troopers a little bit. But I'm noticing instead of fighting humans, it looks like they're fighting robots, unless they're humans in like mech suits. But that's actually pretty cool. I just love when someone can take, stuff from the workshop and make a map far outside the scope of what is traditionally expected with Dungeon Alchemist. Now, granted, this wasn't generated with AI in a few clicks, but it was made nonetheless using Dungeon Alchemist. It is a really nice looking map, huh, Draconic King? Hey, thank you for the likes. So much for the likes, TikTok. We've got over 200 likes already. I appreciate the love, very much so. And I just want Steam to know I am watching the chat feed if any of you all have any questions. Remember, you can click show chat at the bottom of the stream and you can join in and ask questions or, you know, just hang out in the chat feed. I'm watching chat on multiple platforms, so I'll do my best to read questions before I answer them. That way everyone can kind of interact. Mondu says, suddenly sci-fi alchemist, right? It kind of is. Oh, thank you. I did kind of trim up the old beard and baldo space. I was getting irritated with it. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I don't know what it is. I get rid of all the hair on my face and I look significantly less bald than I was earlier when I had like just a big rim of hair and a bald cap kind of thing going on. Why is that? What is the deal with that? What's the deal with looking less bald when you shave your head? Yeah, it does have a Starship Troopers vibe. The bugs really make that feel. StarCraft or Starship Troopers, definitely. It is, Ginger Power. It really is. So Ginger Power says, it's amazing how far DA's come in such a short time. So I've been with the team just about 2 years now. In fact, in June, it was 2-year mark. And in that 2 years, we've gone from just offering like 3-4 biomes to, you know, like 13 now. We offer, you know, I think we had like 40 room types, 50 room types, and now we offer over like 100. We had about half as many objects as we do now, stock objects. I think we were around 2,000, 3,000, now we're around 6,000. Not to mention features that have been added, features that were never even planned or like promised. Things like Asset Importer, which allows you to import 3D models into Dungeon Alchemist. So keeping that in mind, I mean, if you have the ability to make 3D models, sculpt 3D models, or if you have access to a bunch that you've either like purchased or sourced online, you can import them and use them for local use. And of course, if they're Creative Commons or your own personal assets, you may even share them and publish them to the Steam Workshop for other people to use. So like this roof here, the lovely Mrs. Mac made this for me. It's a shingled spire roof with a weather vane and kind of a like a cord running down, so you could capture lightning, you know? And I made this into an observatory roof with a big telescope sticking out of it on a map I made in a 4-story. You can clear the ground? What do you mean by that, White Tiger? So White Tiger says, wait, you can clear the ground? I want to make sure I understand. I was a Terran player. A lot of Terran back in the day, Random Ladybird. Oh, this here is the Asset Importer. This isn't a builder area. This is so you can import 3D models. So this is built into Dungeon Alchemist under the Steam Workshop tab. I'll show you in just 1 second. So if you have 3D models that you have downloaded or own or have made, then you can import them into Dungeon Alchemist and add them to your collection. Alternatively, you can browse assets on the workshop. But if you go here, it says Open Asset Importer. That's where you import custom 3D models and then potentially share them on the workshop. However, there are biomes without terrain on them. The dark parchment and the green screen background are flat plain no background biomes. So you can have no background biomes if you want to focus on like interiors or make like a dungeon where there really is no exit other than, you know, the entrance point that you could have as a separate scene where it's an exterior scene. So just keep in mind, like, Dark Parchment is ideal if you want to do like an interior dungeon, whereas green screen, you can build on it and actually superimpose a background into the green screen space in post, like in a video editor or a photo editor or in like a virtual tabletop. Or you could potentially clear out the green screen backdrop and then move the builds around between maps like a tile. So I've actually used the green screen background to make tiles of some of our animated objects, like a windmill and a drill, so you could use it in Foundry as a standalone object and just import it to any map instead of having it pre-configured on the map. Anyway, kind of moving on. White Tiger, I appreciate the question. If you have any other questions throughout the stream, feel free to ask. So this map here is brilliant. I think it's a great addition to the maps on the workshop. And it's kind of large. I'm going to warn anyone who's trying to load it. It's 35 by 115. That over 100 on one side is going to be kind of intense for some computers. So make sure you load a smaller map before you load this one. And go into your settings and change your settings from, say, high to low. That will improve your load time drastically on a map this size. And there's also about 500 megabytes of 3D models tied to this that you have to download to make it work. So just keep that in mind if you have like a metered or a limited data plan. But I love, oh my gosh, these look like Tom. Don't they look like Tom from Toonami? Chat's so quiet today. Hey, Asmodeus, can you check if YouTube chat's working? I'm going to refresh it really quick, but if you could type there, that'd be very helpful. Thank you. I just refreshed the chat. By the way, I would like to let everyone know, if you have any questions about the map, or if you have any suggestions, feedback, etc., there is an amazing website where we host our roadmap and suggestion board called Upvote. Atlam, if you could drop the Upvote command and get the chat, get that in chat for me, I'd appreciate that. That'll give you your first try to do a command there. You just type it once, really. The second, those are both different versions of the command. That's what the different word is. So you could type either capsed or uncapsed. Sorry for not clarifying on that earlier. And it worked, so thank you. So you could either just type an uncapsed Upvote or a capsed Upvote. Either one will work. Yeah, no worries. I know that's a little confusing as to why there's multiple. I put in multiple tags for each command just in case someone's just quickly typing them and not really doing the caps or whatever, so it's easier. But Upvote is where we host our roadmap and suggestion board, and it is essentially an amazing space where you can see what's being worked on actively by our devs, and also share suggestions and feedback, or vote on other suggestions. So if you're interested in following our development cycle a little bit more closely, Upvote is the place to go to. I'll drop that in the Steam chat if anyone's interested to check that out. You're more than welcome to. I cannot, unfortunately, drop that on TikTok because TikTok will not allow links to be shared in chat. But if you go to any of our other stream platforms or go to our Discord or our website, you can locate our roadmap and Upvote pretty easily. So, sorry for that TikTok, but unfortunately, you're SOL with that. Okay, so looking at this map, I want to kind of walk around. I'm gonna... Oh, that's not a token. Sad. I was hoping it was a token. I'll pop a token in here and we'll take a look. One thing, I do have Hero Forge tokens that are kind of cyber. cyber vigilante, so this will kind of fit in here. Futuristic. Cyberpunkish. I like the flux capacitors here. It's too bad Zentik isn't here right now. We could ask them about their map. But this here, I believe Sack is a creator in our community who made this and shared it on the workshop. There's like all these cool little, like, simple assets. Be careful sharing links on Asmodeus. You could on TikTok. You can actually get shadow banned or banned. TikTok is weird about links. At least last I checked. One time I shared a link and our stream was shadow banned for like 2 months. Are they okay with it now, or do you mean they're not cool with it when you say go ham? Because goes ham could be construed as good or bad in this instance. More flux capacitors over there. Here, let's... Not good, yeah. They definitely don't appreciate links for third parties. Niet good. Got a platform over. When this gets up to 88 miles an hour, you're gonna see some serious stuff. Very cool. I love this map. I think Zentik did a great job, and it's not too often we get a sci-fi map because they're not AI supported at the moment. So if you build a sci-fi map, all of these objects have to be placed by hand and usually sourced from the workshop or imported by yourself. So there really isn't any stock sci-fi assets. There's a few that'll work, and obviously this is the Badlands biome, which is a stock biome. So, I mean, this looks kind of just like an alien planet, almost Mars-like, if you will. And it definitely looks like a scene from StarCraft or Starship Troopers, if I'm not lying. Let's go check outside the base. So we've got... Ooh, that's scary. Got some flamethrowers. Right? It's kind of cool seeing some different sci-fi maps pop up on the workshop lately. Honestly, it's been very fun. I really enjoy this. I think they did a great job. Oh my gosh, are those like lobbers? They're like lobbing those like bombs over at the gate. So cool. By the way, thank you, Asmodeus, for checking on YouTube. It did in fact work. I appreciate everyone who helped that with that. Cartographer, how you doing today? Tired? Dude, I feel that. I feel that. I've been doing some like fixing stuff in my home and kind of like just like doing some honeydew tasks around the house that have been like put off for a while, and cleaning some things up, and you know, deep cleaning stuff in the last few days anytime I had spare time, and I've just been beat. So dad needs a nap. Totally get that. Totally understand. All right, let's step up onto the wall. Take a look up here. Oh, that's cool. Plus you have like these turrets. You can get behind it. You're like, get some! Go, 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 go. Oh, a while, Exo. So Exo on YouTube has asked, I've been out of the loop for a while. How long have we had the sweet first-person wandering mode? pretty much as long as tokens have been available in Dungeon Alchemist. So when we added the Hero Forge integration like a year and a half ago, as soon as tokens were added, you can place a token. So here's a token, but here's the token menu just in case you weren't aware. And you can either use any of the stock tokens, which there's a few that are free. We have a partnership with Bite the Bullet Studios, who is an art team that makes amazing tokens, and they're going to be making tokens that will include in every update going forward. So this first pack was magic themed to go with the magic update. But if you have a Hero Forge account and you've purchased any Hero Forge token packs, like gotten their monthly packs or purchase packs, or if you have bought in any tokens as 3D digital, you can link your account and import them. Moving on, once you place a token, you can walk around in first person, take screenshots with the F key, or record with the R key. Additionally, there's one other way you can access a camera. It is the cinematic mode up here in the top right corner. This is more like a drone camera, so if you click this, it goes into like a drone mode where you can fly around, and it's a little bit more versatile in that regard than a token, because the token you can only walk around as the token. Jeremy Tiggy on TikTok asks, do people use DA as a VTT, or is it just intended for development? So Dungeon Alchemist's primary purpose is to make maps for tabletop games. So you can use Dungeon Alchemist to make maps for print, make maps for TV tabletop or projector tabletop. Alternatively, you can make maps to export for virtual tabletop. So our maps export to a variety of VTTs: Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Above VTT, Roll20, pretty much any VTT that uses the UVTT format, and any that uses like JPEG, MP4, or WebM can potentially use our maps. So there's a lot of versatility in where you can use our maps, but a lot of these tools, these extra tools like the cinematic camera, the first-person camera, allow you to get immersive first-person shots or walkthroughs, flybys, flyovers, kind of like cut scenes. You can record like a fire crackling in the woods and have it be like a long rest scene or something like that. One of my favorites is a DM told me a player likes to have their familiar fly over any outdoor area and scout ahead, or scout the facility or whatever if they can. So I told them, what they did is they started flying over like this and recording it, and they'll send that to the player when they ask, if their familiar can fly over. And so they can watch that a couple of times and have it as like a neat little way to interact with their players in other ways. Now, that being said, many people in our community use Dungeon Alchemist as a pseudo limited VTT because it works really well to a degree as a play system or a play engine. While it's not really intended as such, and the devs are, adamant at this time, it's a map maker and immersion tool. I mean, really, a good DM, all they need is an immersion tool to stage a game, right? And I mean, many games are ran just strictly theater of the mind with a handful of setting shots. So I think, if your players, depending on your players, your table, you could run an entire game from DA if you wanted to. If you play locally with a TV tabletop or a projector tabletop, we offer tools, for instance, to enable the grid. So you can pop a grid on there, right? Once the grid is on there, you can then move tokens around on the grid. So, I mean, either if it was a TV tabletop or a projector, you could put tokens on top, or you could do the tokens internally by moving them around with a keyboard or a mouse. We also offer tools to like hide the UI, so you can be no UI and just look down on the battle. So it can kind of work as a VTT. I've actually watched a few streams where the DM does all the movement and they'll play online using DA as a limited VTT because they just prefer the immersive nature of it. Hey, Zach, how you doing? Would be so cool some tokens could have idle animations, so technically they can. If you import a token with animations, then it can. We have animated token assets that were shared on the workshop. Here, let's click the token section first off, and then we'll type animated. Are you thinking about being compatible with Tailspire, GAN, Sonolo? Unfortunately, Tailspire is an enclosed ecosystem. They're all closed off. They don't offer 3D model imports or other, imports, as last I heard, at least. But that being said, Dungeon Alchemist has no plans to offer true 3D model exports or 3D engine exports. Basically, Dungeon Alchemist wasn't really made with that in mind. It was created and intended to be used as a map making and immersion tool, and the exports are meant to be top down. Now, we do offer limited perspective, or certain perspective 3D in a top down, so it looks more immersive and feels more alive than a flattened top down map, right? But unfortunately, that will be mostly the extent of DA. But DA just wasn't really intended to have 3D exports, and as a result of which, if we wanted to do that, we'd have to gut DA from the ground up and change a ton of aspects of it. But if you import a 3D model from the into the workshop or a local asset collection, or if you download one from the workshop, getting back to my point from before, why can't I select this dragon? I'll just select it after I place it. Goodness. It has a tiny... Okay. Did it just disappear from my collection? Yes, it did. Interesting. What the heck just happened? But if an object has multiple play states, you see this here? It'll have this fast forward button, and you can cycle between the different animations. So you can apply multiple animations, import the asset as a token. If you set it as a token when you import it in the asset importer, then it will allow you to do so. So essentially, when you import a 3D model into DA, when you're setting up said 3D model, there's a template, and you could set it as a token. Then, if you import it with animations applied to it, those animations will each be a play state. Since February? I thought you just barely brought this up the other day, like a week and a half ago or something. Andrew P. says, any news on DA being used like a VTT? As we just said, it can be used as a limited VTT kind of right now for in-person TV tabletop, projector tabletop play. Online, you would be restricted to the DM making all movement. There's no multiplayer support or anything like that. That being said, our devs have said once we leave early access, they'd like to address things like VTT Lite type features, such as like Fog of War, possibly multiplayer, dice rolling, things like that. But that's way down the road. Yeah, I'm gonna... Hey, Sack, can you link me your post of the disappearing assets, the support post for it? Can you DM it to me so I can... Well, Andrew, we have 5 major updates before we leave early access. We have essentially a planned roadmap due to our Kickstarter. In our Kickstarter, we had a series of stretch goals we hit, and all of those stretch goals are planned updates. They're free updates for anyone who was part of our Kickstarter or who owns a copy of Dungeon Alchemist. Whether you bought it on Steam or were gifted a copy, you'll get all these updates for free. And essentially, the final remaining stretch goals, in no particular order other than the first one I name, is fun with objects, Tricks and Traps, Water Worlds, High Seas, and Instant Dungeons. When all those are released is when we'll leave early access. Each of our updates, they average between 4 and 6 months of development time. That's mainly because we are a team of less than 10 people. We really only have like 3-4 developers on our team, 3 or 4 artists, like myself as the community team, and a couple other support people running stuff like office type stuff. So yeah, the roadmap is available online. It's a public roadmap. It's at upvoty.com. Can you all share that again across a few different places? So, hey, Dirty Rollers, how you been, buddy? Let's see here. Callie Sykes says, I saw the roadmap. There's multi-level plan. Will that include, like, Foundry export support? It's hard to say what that will work or look like when it exports. I'm assuming that it'll export as layers or slices, i.e. different images for each level. But it's yet to be seen. Foundry only just added native like verticality level support in their last like version. So we'll see how we integrate with that. Oh, Jeremy, that's awful. Jeremy kickstarted, couldn't run the software for almost a year because his graphics card died. RIP. I'm sorry, good sir. I love using DA for our maps. Always love seeing the updates. Thank you, Crits and Chronicles. Appreciate the love. I hope you have been enjoying the updates and your players enjoy the maps. Gansanolo, I hope that link helps you out there. Thank you, Sack. I'll pass this on to Aranus and tell him I personally experienced it as well. Dirty Rollers, so just so you know, man, the devs actually, this last update, they were like, hey, do any of you have any, like, they had a meeting with us and they said, we'd like you guys to put a list of like 5 to 10 suggestions each of things you'd want to see in the next update. And we'll try and add them to the to-do list if there's enough time, right? And, I'll be honest with you, I started thinking of things mostly just community-driven. I was a little selfish on a couple of them because there's things I want for better content creation to make better videos to share with our community. But, ultimately, I added lock objects to my list of things. Like, it's one of the like, 8 I put in my list. Callie Psych, I couldn't really speak to that, unfortunately. I'm not sure when they plan to add weather effects. I mean, we do have the snow weather effect, which allows you to add snow to any map. You could just go to the terrain tab and hit snow. So you could be in any biome and add a light snow pack on top of pretty much everything. By the way, I will warn you all, if you're in the snow biome and you have snow on, it's counterproductive because a lot of times people will be like, I want some things without snow on them, or they'll complain that the snow is everywhere. Just disable the snow weather and be in the snow biome, and then you don't have snow on top of everything, but it's on the ground, and you can paint dirt and do other things without snow being on top of everything. Kind of going back, though, to what we were talking about here. Hey, Gaming Knight, how you doing? Oh, White Tiger, you moved over here? Well, welcome to Twitch. Hey, no problem. See you again, Sonolo. Uh-oh. Ruin the map. I'm gonna just undo. No, I wanted more enhanced, basically, when you go into first person or cinematic mode, I want more tools, more options. I want 60 FPS. I want hide UI so I can record with a third-party recorder, like a screen recorder, instead of natively in DA. I want the option to pick my resolution, like advanced stuff like that. So honestly, that's kind of what I feel like. If like I don't use the internal recording tools in DA because they're limited to 30 FPS, right? So I use OBS or Streamlabs to record my screen so I can pick my bit rate, I can pick my FPS, and it's not limited to, it actually moves at 60 FPS like this, whereas if you record, it goes down to 30. And you can also have higher resolution recording if you record the screen. So essentially, I am asking the devs to add more options to the recording tools, so it's easier for people who want to use external recording tools, or maybe you want to walk around in first person and stream it to your players and not have the UI present. You know, silly things like that. Because there's a lot of people in our community who stream the first-person view over Discord, but it's very annoying to have that UI in the middle and at the top. So essentially, I'm asking for more advanced tools. That was one of my requests. Here, you know what? I'll just tell you what I asked for, and y'all understand I straight up went community like driven, okay? Transparent background terrain with PNG WebM export, similar to green screen terrain but has no terrain at all. I mean, you have your own mouse sensitivity options, and then the field of view can slow down the movement a little bit and change the width, and then lastly you have shift to speed up your movement, but that's about it. Let's see here. Gaming Night, this is a map maker called Dungeon Alchemist. It's a map making and immersion tool that allows you to build very detailed, beautiful maps for your tabletop gaming settings. Primarily fantasy aesthetic, but as you can see, it also does some sci-fi. So it's a map maker first, not a gameplay tool. It's not a virtual tabletop. And unless you're really playing in person, it's not ideal for online play. I mean, you can add a grid, you can move tokens around in it, and we do offer tokens to kind of add, like you can add like NPCs to the map or walk around in first person to record clips, take screenshots, or even stream this to your players. But realistically, there really is no multiplayer. Now, Steam does have Steam Play Together, where one player can join into your instance and move things around, but they can also edit the map. So until we add like a player-only mode, or like a DM screen versus player mode, which would probably be after we leave early access, then it won't be something that you could do right away. But our maps export fluidly and work with a ton of virtual tabletops, which are tools that facilitate online play, such as Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, Above VTT, etc. So Tablax, I hope that answers your questions. Okay, next. Steam Workshop support for abstract images and object variants will allow community members to easily share abstract templates and object variants. Because I'm hoping that in Fun with Objects, you'll get variant creation, i.e. the ability to put objects together in a group, save them as a group, and then share that grouping of objects on the workshop for other people to download. And then you could quickly copy and paste that grouping of objects between maps, all over the map, etc. Unfortunately, I think it's one or the other, Dirty Rollers. I think one of you has control or the other. This isn't a weird idea I had, and I don't know if the devs will like this one. This was just a personal suggestion. Move freestanding walls into a new category within the wall tool. Then divide the massive pile of freestanding walls into the organized categories currently available in the wall tool. The freestanding wall section is cluttered and hard to navigate. It only worsens with each update. If we move them from objects into a subcategory within the wall tool, not only will they be more obvious to new users, but more accessible to navigate and utilize. Well, hate's a strong word. I strongly dislike that you have to browse every freestanding wall in a long draw like this, or know their exact name. I want all of these put into the wall tool. I'm just drawing a room so I can put up a wall. I mean, I don't know if this will happen, Dyson, but I want this, right? And so essentially, I would like another tab here that's just the freestanding walls, right? And then they're divided into their categories in that tab. And then you could just grab them and drop them anywhere. And then the cool thing about this is the wall tool will always be available and open. I think it'd be much more organized that way. That's just my 2 cents. Anyway, these are my personal wish list for the next update, okay? Object lock. UI lock toggle added to the object UI that can lock an object so it cannot be moved or deleted. I don't know if that sounds appealing to anyone. Another one, similar vein of thought, snow toggle. UI snowflake toggle added to the object UI that allows the snow weather to be disabled, removed from this particular object. We have objects that snow doesn't affect, right? Am I right, Zach? If you search ice flow, ice flow is one of the unique objects that has the property of snow not affecting it, which means we can, in fact, add a property to an object where snow doesn't affect it, right? That the logic dictates we could just add a toggle that does the same thing. Oh, man. Okay. That's weird. What the heck just happened? It just destroyed the whole map. Okay. Weird. I might have to reload the map to do it. But normally if you add a snow weather on, it'll add snow to everything except for this particular object. There's a handful of winter objects that it won't affect. Next. Mass export. Advanced export menu to select from a list of all potential export options to export from multiple formats and VTT simultaneously in an export queue. Yeah, sure, Tablax, I would love to. In fact, our next map that we'll show will more than likely be more geared around non-sci-fi. In fact, sci-fi is more or less few and far between in our stuff, because fantasy is our main aesthetic. In fact, here is a map that has dragons on it and is very sci-fi themed. So our maps traditionally export in a top-down, and they will obviously not have all this UI to them. They work seamlessly with many VTTs, including Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, Roll20, etc. Yeah, this map is quite cool. Quite cool indeed. Let's take a look at it at an angle here so you can see what's going on. I really love how there's just different characters on each side of this kind of light versus dark battle, you know? Next, map rasterization. This is another suggestion I added to my list. The ability to easily and quickly slice up a map into smaller, equal-sized parts. Options to split into halves, quadrants, eighths, sixteenths, or equal print sizes. Includes VTT data for each new scene. I'll pull up Avernus Gate in just a moment, okay? I really want to give this map some love while we're here. Take it in for a minute, because we're actually showing off entries from a contest we host called the Dam Challenge. Now, I will say this, Teblax, one major benefit of Dungeon Alchemist is we have Steam Workshop integration, and there's over 9,300 maps available on Steam Workshop that are free. Anyone who owns a copy of Dungeon Alchemist can access these maps, and they were all shared by our community members. Many are fantasy based. I mean, some are directly from very popular, like 5e modules. I mean, for instance, you can search Phandelver as an example here. There is hundreds of Phandelver maps available. You can search. Yep, we've gotten 300 maps in 2 weeks. We just hit 9,000, and now we're over 9,300. Yeah, well, we're kind of snowballing, hitting that point where there's so many people in our community sharing now. Initially, it used to be a few power sharers, but many, many people do. Oh yeah, there's Witchlight maps, there is Strahd maps, there is TOA maps, there's tons and tons of theme maps, and tons that aren't themed, like personal homebrew or just whatever. Like here is an Egyptian themed one. This was made using assets from the workshop and stock assets. There's all sorts of cool stuff you can make. Here's another sci-fi one. But, I mean, there's a lot. Oh, here's a pirate ship encounter. Okay, so looking at this map, let's look at it from the other side here. Man, this looks really cool. This is like a diorama, beautiful, right? Get in like the cinematic camera. Get down at like this angle. This one. They have different names in every platform. One second, I'll get their Discord name. This one was made by Toaster. And unfortunately for Toaster, they won the last damn challenge, so they couldn't win this one. They only entered for fun. There's a rule that you can't win 2 in a row. So anyone who enters... Hey, Toaster, you are here. I wasn't sure if you were here today. But yeah, this map is beautiful. It's an amazing map. Sadly, unfortunately, despite how epic it was, I could not pick it as a winner. It definitely was a contender for top, though. So, I do love it when people continue to submit maps regardless, you know? So, thank you very much, Toaster, for entering. I love this, though. The contrast is beautiful. Like, absolutely stunning. I really love how you use light to your advantage to get the two to contrast so well. Hey, okay, what were some of the other suggestions I made? So I said map rasterization, right? My last suggestion, GeForce Now support. Cloud-based support for DA would allow users with less than ideal computers to use DA more freely. From what I read, it's relatively easy to activate GeForce Now support for Steam titles through the Steam dev settings. I linked them to an entry of relevant information from the Steam, information, so they could look into it if they're interested. But we get like one person a week across our varied platforms asking for GeForce Now support. And that would allow people with not powerful computers or a tablet could potentially run DA on that as long as they have a GeForce Now subscription. Or if you have an older computer, you can sub to GeForce Now and get a little bit more oomph because it's ran through the cloud. As long as you have an adequate internet speed, you could, give yourself a little boost. And honestly, cloud-based stuff is getting really good nowadays. A few years ago, I would have said it's probably not worth it. But in the last 5 years, cloud-based, gaming has changed dramatically. I used to think it was whatever. I was at E3 2018. I did a cloud-based test for Xbox there, and it wasn't that great. And now it's I love it. I'll be out and about at an appointment, and I'll play Xbox games on my phone. It's gotten a big boost, big improvement. The infrastructure has grown a lot too. And as internet gets better, so will cloud gaming ultimately, right? Anyway, moving on. Hey, sorry I've been busy and haven't noticed chat over on TikTok. Thank you, Asmodeus, for managing that for me. I appreciate it. I am now watching TikTok chat if anyone has any questions. How long did it take you to make this map, Toaster? Hey, Lion, I appreciate you watching, by the way, and I'm sorry I missed your questions. Thank you, Asmodeus, for helping out. Okay, let's open that other map really quick. The Avernus Gate. So here's a little top down of that. Very cool. 4 or 5 hours, not bad at all. I appreciate your hard work, my friend. Very good job on the build. It was beautiful. Honestly, I like gasped like audibly. I was like, oh, when I first saw it. That's epic. Here, let's drop a token and see what it looks like in first person. Oh, the token's back. Okay, nope, my asset did not disappear. It actually was in the token menu. No wonder I couldn't find it. So here is an animated token with multiple states. Oh man, that run is terrifying. That's like Smaug. Feels like I'm flying. But I'm just like a titan. Man, where is the collider for this thing? Look at it floating. Oh, that is cool. That looks dope. No, I trust you, dude. It's probably just some weird bug. Can you attach, and the next time it does it to you, can you grab a log and throw it in there too? Okay, cool. Yeah, if you can have that, and I know you've probably repaired and uninstalled and reinstalled, right? Like verified integrity and all that jazz. I'm sure you've done all that, so. I like how the eye has a bit of a Sharingan going on. Wow. That's, oof, that's intimidating. I like that a lot. Very cool. Oh, hi. What we got here? Hey, the poopa. Gosh, it's shivering. Crazy. Get him over here. Let me warm him up. This poor baby. This poor baby. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Why you're so cold? Those are so cold. Chilly. Why is mom trying to freeze you? Huh? Can I pet that dog? For everyone who hasn't met him before, this is Seymour. He's a bit of a stream celebrity. He likes to drop by and say hello, usually, after his bath. Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? What's that? What's that?
Sorry for the crinkles.
Want a snacky? Want a sausage? Will you bark while I'm holding you? He won't bark when someone's holding him. He is completely silent. Speak. What's that? Second we set him down, he'll bark, but he won't when you're holding him. It's kind of cute, actually. I probably could survive in the... What is the movie where The Quiet Place with him? As long as I'm holding him, we'd survive. The second we set him down, we're dead. I'll pet the dog for y'all. Pets by proxy. Anyone else want to pet the dog? He's a good boy. The Goobs boy. The Goobs boy. It smells so good. Okay. Time to go with mom. Time to go with mom. Yeah, I mean, as a brand stream, like, this is an actual, this is the official Dungeon Alchemist channel. We can't really use other people's, like, properties and licensed content. I probably wouldn't be using sound clips from, other people's TikToks or anything like that. Like, the music I use is meant for Creative Commons, like, it's essentially copyright free. Yeah, I gotta be safe and careful about that kind of stuff. And we're not necessarily a huge company that can license everything. We're an indie company. So we gotta kind of take it a step at a time. I think with the red light, this looks crazy good. This is really cool map, though. Cartographer, how long did this take you to make, my friend? That's really cool. About 4 hours? Not bad. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I think you did a great job here. Oh, yeah, I'm the same way. Honestly, I like... A lot of times when I'm thinking up a map, I'll draw like a sketch on scratch paper and I'll put notes of what I want, like in the areas, or like a little, like, like a key below with information. And I'll think about it a lot more than I will actually build time, because once I'm in, I'm just like, and I can just bust out a map in like an hour and a half if I have a plan. If I don't have a plan, I'm gonna just build aimlessly. Like right now, the Map Maker Monday build of the cemetery I'm doing, I don't really have a plan laid out for the floor plan of like the cemetery, so I'm just kind of making it as I go. I honestly think it's great. The eyeball is impressively interesting, and the statues are great. I like the eyes. I was like, yeah, that definitely is not stock. By the way, I'm pretty sure we offer that flame as a standalone. Yeah, like a fire spout. You could just raise this up and put it on... Donde? I just typed fire or flame, fire spout. Or did you have it? Yeah, you had it as the object that has it. ¿Dónde está el... what would fire spout be? Plus, you could change the color of this one. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, you could change the color of that. Big fire, always better. Big fire, make more warm. Fire hot. Remember me. Fire indeed hot. The prophecy will help. Ow. The new season's interesting. Like, I don't know, the episodes I've seen so far, the new season don't hit as hard as some of the older ones. But I'm hoping the rest of the season will be better. And it just is starting to seem like the cast is, you know, getting kind of older. Like, you can hear it in their voices, and like, and that's not a bad thing. It's like, it's just maybe it's time to let these characters move on, you know? So there's a new season right now that's airing every week, and there's 3 episodes out. He does sound a lot older now. I mean, he's like almost 80 now, isn't he? And that's not a bad thing. Like, Billy West has been acting since I was a kid. Like, it's crazy. Like, the guy's been a voice actor for forever. What kind of stupid made-up name is Billy West? Yeah, he's getting older. I mean, voiceover work probably can't be easy on someone that age. Plus, he does like a ton of voices in the show. Yeah, some of the things I used to do, like impressions and stuff, I can't do them anymore. They rip you up. No, so Mondu, in Futurama, there's a joke where Fry, who is played by Billy West, he says, "What kind of stupid made-up name is Billy West?" It's just like a joke on himself. But yeah, so what did you think of the last season then? Last year's season. I really liked how self-aware they were, like when they were joking about, like, how does a show get canceled and uncanceled so many times? Fantastic work here, cartographer. Seriously, well done. It's not a big map, but it packs a punch. You could do a huge encounter here. I liked the Bitcoin episode a lot. I thought that one was pretty funny. Yeah, the later part of the season went a lot better. It's good that oh yeah, I kind of forgot that Disney owns Hulu now. I think, oh hey Chris, hello from Las Vegas. Chris Lennon from Ireland said hello to everyone over on TikTok. Let's put someone up on the gate. Tell the master of the black gates to come forth. Awesome. Cool. Let's look at another map. The Dune episode made me laugh really hard, actually, Zach. Lambent, I think it looks cool. I really enjoyed this garden space kind of look here, and it looks like they're protecting like this beautiful tree, right? I honestly, I think you did a really good job, all things considered. Look at that, you could see the... Honestly, I really like the contrast of like there being like a beautiful like realm in the hellscape, right? And this dark, like devious castle. I think you did a great job. Chris, that's great to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Chris says, I absolutely love Dungeon Alchemist. It's brought so much joy to my campaign. I'm hoping your players love your maps and get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and that they're, you know, do you find did they like the maps? Are they more immersed? Ah, okay. See, it seemed like this was like the last bit of something, you know, protecting it, but now I get it. Yep. Like, this seemed like the last bastion of, like, good, but now I understand. They are, like, they're invading, but that's still awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I don't really like to read the hooks because I like to go in and make my own impression of the maps. So I will read it now, though. I apologize. Okay. They say that if you stare into the abyss stares back. True, maybe with some folks, the abyss moves and starts redecorating. I reckon that's how every necromancer gets their start. And the only thing worse than Bloody Necromancer is an undead Bloody Necromancer. Talk about your work-life balance issues. Yeesh. With your garden variety necro, it usually is enough for your average go-getter to rile the locals, insta-torch pitfork mode, and go storm their lair, castle, fane, whatever. But a lich now, you got to assemble a party with origin stories and all that, run quests, gain patronage of a royalty, and then pull together enough mana to invade some damn pocket dimension located just 2 steps from hell. Thaumaturgically speaking. The party's the worst nightmare. It takes about 50 years to do a hero saga for a mage that can punch a portal between dimensions big enough for an army to go waltzing through, never mind a cleric that can throw down with a lich. The deity in question could get directly involved, of course, but they do love their theater. 50 years for some undead jerk to run rampant over the realm, all for the sake of a little drama? Whatever, eventually the quests are quested, the prophecy's fulfilled, and the cannon fodder is ready to march. And then it's payback time. So I can't have helped but reading that, like in my head, the whole time I was reading that, I kind of felt like I was Wayne from Letterkenny. I can't talk like him, but I felt like that was the case. I love it. Because he's just so direct and to the point, telling you exactly how it is. I love your... I don't know, do you just know when he does, like, his, like, Letterkenny, like, poems, right? In the beginning of, like, episodes, it reminded me of that. It was very close to that feel. I love it, though. The quests are quested, the prophecy is fulfilled, and the cannon fodder is ready to march. And then it's payback time. Really, though, all that could has like been avoided if someone had just given the kid a hug and told them they were loved. I love it. That's great. I think you did a great job, all things considered. And thank you for submitting, even though you didn't really, you know, as you said, you didn't finish. Chris Lennon on TikTok says it's amazing. I play on Zoom so I can share my screen and let the players play in 3D. Awesome. Do they enjoy that level of immersion? You built a 3-story fight club? Nice. Is it on the Steam Workshop by chance? Hey, definitely not Dragon Fanked. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. I bet you the Lich was excited to have a challenge. If it takes 50 years to accumulate enough mana and like arcane energy to build a portal of this size, that's insane. Where is the Drow Rider at? Is this it? Nope. Is it these? Cool. I just had to find them. They're a little tiny for me. So these have multiple animations, which is great, and it happens to be a token, so you can go into first person and walk around. Or you can click and change their various states. So that's like an attack, it looks like. It's a sort of lunge. And then this one here looks like a march. Whoa. Like a Drider smash. Ooh, a little dodge action. Just sitting still. I really like that one because then we can make it seem like it's attacking the wall. Like that. Gotta pull it back. See? That's actually pretty cool. I really like this too. Ooh, what you got here? Undead Ghost. Cool. This is very cool. Let's take a look inside the Lich's lair. The Lord of Bones is doing his business, it looks like. Oh. A winged skull, nice. Looks very cool in here. Yeah, I saw them. They're actually launching stuff. You can see the stuff falling here. I like how they're in sync, but at the same time, it's like... But yeah, it is very cool that it actually launches something. You can kind of see it arc here. And fall down. Sometimes. There. Trebuchet! The superior siege engine. How long did this take you to make, Lambit? Well, Chris, thank you for the kind words. I really do appreciate it. And if you end up uploading any of your maps to the workshop, I'd love to see them. So you made okay. So I'm assuming you found this Drow spider model, the Drider model, and then you added animation to it. Is that what you're saying you did? Fair enough, Chris. Well, if you do, I'd love to see it. Remember, you can always grab the file off of your kid's laptop with a flash drive and then upload it on your computer. Oh, you made these? Cool. Very cool. Looks like you're getting the hang of using the asset importer. Seemed like just a few weeks ago you were asking questions about it, but now you're like uploading some crazy models. That's very cool. Kind of the way they're emerging here reminds me of Gears of War a little bit. I like how there's no bridge. It's like, nope. You gotta figure it out. Very cool, Lambit. Thank you for putting some time into this map and for sharing it. I really like it a lot. So what's the tree doing here? Is it like part of their magic? I'm assuming. Can I just say thank you for the follows in the last 10 minutes? Weevee Dika and definitely not Dragon Faint. Thank you. Makes sense, Lambit. That's really cool. I think you did a great job, and the scale of it all. I know you're kind of using forced perspective while you scaled everything down. Obviously, there's not normally 8 guys per square, but in this case, scaling it down makes it feel so much bigger, right? So this is a great example of forced perspective. And you can always get in down to this detail, this size. Look at the token. Look at this guy. That one's the one. That's the keeper. Man, that token is messing up the map. That animation in particular was messing things up. See that? No bug this time. We're gonna have a dance battle. That's how we're gonna settle this dispute. Neener, neener. This guy. Yeah, I saw that. He was riding the sword, like the Silver Surfer. Is it still flickering for you? Because it seems like it's done. That is too much. Yeah, it's great. That's hilarious. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to go back to the winning map for the remainder of the stream, and we'll take a closer look at it. Crypt of the Necrodancer. To beat this necromancer, you have to have a dance battle with them. It's the only way to keep them occupied. It did work for Star-Lord, didn't it? He was able to keep a cosmic being occupied for just long enough. Dance off, bud. Bro, you and me. Oh, it is? I've never heard of it. That's crazy. Man, we need some spaceships back here. So I'm wondering if the eggs were they launched in, or the eggs part of the reason that the bugs are attacking. You got to give it the dancing baby animation, Lambit, and the dancing alien. See, I kind of figured these were being launched, but not eggs. I didn't know if eggs were being launched. They seem like a plasma lobber, kind of like in like Starship Troopers. But it's possible the eggs came from that too. I could be totally wrong. Can I just say thank you to TikTok for so many likes? We're actually over 900 likes on this stream today. Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. Look at their arc reactor. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. So, did you just say you published the map? Is that what you're saying, Lennon? Awesome. I do think that they might end up being kind of a bit of a like a bit of a hazard to people who are photosensitive, or might be possible to get like seizures and stuff. But I do think a lot of those people tend to know that playing video games or using applications with a lot of flashing lights can also cause that. I call them flux capacitors because that's what they look like to me. i.e., like, the lights, the little Y light thing, and like Back to the Future in his car. So I will say this, we've shown every map from the Dam Challenge this week already. There was only 4 entries this time around, and I think because of back to school, there was a lot of people busy, weren't able to participate this time around. A lot of, parents and or youth getting back into school, whether it's college, high school, middle school, or parents getting their kids ready, were very, very busy and didn't have time to participate. That, or maybe not many people found inspiration in the title, or in the theme, which is entirely my fault. I do want to start talking about a new theme for next Dam Challenge, and I'd love to open it up to chat to get suggestions. Remember, we try to pick a theme that is open-ended and can be used kind of however, as long as, and people can more than likely use it in their own campaign, so they'll actually have a use for it at the end of the day. So we try to keep the theme simple, not too long of a theme, like 1 to 2 words typically, and typically a theme that most anybody could use in their own campaign. Back to school. Interesting. Subaquatic might be hard to pull off. You can do like sunken, submerged stuff, but completely subaquatic is more lighting and immersion than anything. And it might be a theme that's a little bit harder for some people to grab onto. Hey, Chris, in just a minute after we pick a new theme, I'll take a look at your map, okay? Hazardous Crossing. You think you want to play this game? Bane, how you doing, my friend? Good versus evil. First contact. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Oh, nope, that's where the eggs are being launched from. I see the eggs now. I thought these were totally different things. Now we know. Ambush. Interesting. Museum. Ambush could be pretty much anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the traditional forest ambush. It could even be in a city. Ambushes can happen in any number of places. And it can be very useful to a lot of campaigns. Who doesn't need a good ambush encounter? So, I like that. I did like the school one because school could be a theme and you could make a schoolhouse, university, a library, anything to do with learning, a lecture hall, which I would love to see more of on the workshop. Those are both great suggestions. Right? It definitely seems like some Starship Troopers going on here, doesn't it, Bane? Would you like to know more? Well, we only pick one, Zach. So we've got a little bit of Helldiver fan base and a little bit of Starship Trooper fan base. We also heard this is StarCraft a bit feeling too. Oh, gotcha. You wouldn't be able to pick which one there? You've got them all. When my friends ask me, this is one of my favorite things. I don't know why. But when my friends ask if I have a printer they can use, because nowadays most people don't have a regular old printer. You know what I mean? Or a scanner. It's surprisingly few and far between, and I think it's just mostly most people younger than me don't have one, and most people older than me do. I think millennials are kind of split on the topic. You know, they hate them or they love them or nothing in between. But the thing is, most printers just aren't that great. Like, it would be amazing if a company just made a printer that worked, like connected to your computer every time and printed every time, scanned every time. Like, it's crazy how, like, many years they've been making printers and they still, to this day, are just as awful as ever. But moving on, a lot of people don't have printers because they're a pain in the butt piece of technology and they're kind of dated. Yeah, exactly. So I have a couple of printers. I have a laser printer, like for printing just black and white documents, because I like to have, well, mostly my bills or things like that I file away to keep track of, or anything I need to sign, or you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I will ask my friends will ask, do you have a printer I could borrow? And I go, what kind? And they go, what? Because I go, do you want to print on paper? Do you want a 3D print? Do you want a vinyl plot? Because I have like all these different printing types. 2D or 3D, my friends. But yeah, I have like a little Canon kind of all-in-one like inkjet printer, but I mainly just use the scanner on it, and it's wireless. I don't really print on it very much because the ink is awful. It's expensive, it's a joke. But I do have a little brother like LaserJet black and white printer, and I only have to change the cartridge like every 2-3 years. Yeah, 3D printing is awesome. Raise of hands, do we got any 3D printing enthusiasts or 3D modeling enthusiasts? Or both? I'm sure you might do both. It's okay, Zach. It happens. I mean, not everyone enjoys those things. There's plenty of people who don't really enjoy them. I honestly, personally, though, really do love the versatility of a smartphone because, you know, it allows me to do my job anywhere. A lot of times I'll be out walking my dog and answering questions to you all. I'll be at the doctor's office with my wife answering questions to y'all. I'll be, you know, I can work from my kitchen. I can work from my couch, you know. I don't know. I like the versatility, but at the same time, I'm always connected. It is a downside, right? But throughout the day, it affords me a little bit of freedom. I do love the ability to look up anything in my pocket and having a lot of powerful apps. But at the same time, I miss old flip phones. I genuinely do. Genuinely miss the simplicity of an old flip phone. So we don't have any more maps to look at from entries. So we're just going to look at maps on the workshop until we wind down. So you said you uploaded your map. Chris, did you make it public? Because if you don't set it to public, it won't share it. What is the name of the map? A Busted Up Tavern. Is this yours here? No, I don't think so. Huh. Eh. One thing I love about my phone is it has like do not disturb hours. So I'll just set it from like 8 p.m. till like 9 a.m. and pretty much I don't get any notifications. I don't get any sounds. Nothing comes through unless it's from one of my emergency contacts who I've added as like my wife could call me if there was an emergency or something. Desert Dungeon. Okay, I'm going to search Desert Dungeon, but I just sorted by most recent, and it's not on there, I don't think. Hold on. Desert Encounter. Let's try searching Desert Dungeon. So when you upload a map, you do have to make sure you set it to public. So when you're publishing a map, you can change the visibility from private to friends or public. So it has to be public in order for me to see it or anyone on the workshop to see it. You can also take a screenshot from the cinematic camera to get like a neat little immersive shot for your map. And you can give it a description. Anything in the title and description is a search term. So it's good to have as much information and words that have, spaces between them. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing your map. Either it hasn't been approved on the workshop yet, or you set it as private when you uploaded it. If you go to the Steam Workshop tab in Dungeon Alchemist and click Open Subscribed Map, like this, you can go to your maps, right? And then find the map, open it, right? Because it'll show up in your list no matter what, Chris. Once you've opened the map, you can hit Update Published Map in this tab. Also, once you've opened the map from the workshop, this is how you can edit your maps before you re-upload them. Ooh, the camera being so broken. That was weird. So essentially, if you want to make changes to a map you've published, you click Open Publish Map, you open the map, click Update Publish Map, and then from here you can change the name, change the visibility, description, change the screenshot, etc. So let's say I change this a little bit, right? Made like just one little change because there's this weird token here I never noticed. Eat that. Move everything back, right? And then I'll hit Update Publish Map. Oop, I don't want the portal to be covered. Something like that. And then if I hit Update, it'll send this update to the workshop, so you can make an update to a map you've sent to the workshop instead of having multiple uploads. Okay. Let me see if I can find it now. Browse maps. Nowhere. There it is. Found it. So was it set to not public, or what was the deal there? Gotcha. So you would do a lot of late night gaming. So it wasn't like people bothering you so much as it was you were keeping yourself up. Gotcha. Fair enough. Well, you know yourself better than me, so definitely if you think it's a good idea to not have a smartphone. Oh, this is cool. So what's the story behind this, Chris? Is this like a dungeon? Kind of looks like there's a pub here, but all this other stuff looks devious. Or there's like maybe a nice home or something here. This is very cool though. I like this right here. Man, I would kill to be in a D&D game where it just goes until it ends instead of on a schedule. Because, like, I remember when I was younger, that's how D&D was. It was like we just go over to a friend's house, like, for a sleepover or something. And we just play and play and play until the session was done. Or we were just exhausted. Not like, oh, it's been 3 hours, guys, we gotta wrap it up. Man, adulting, scheduling conflicts are the biggest bad of all. It's crazy. I would love to have like an all-night D&D session, you know, or like just a massive one-shot that isn't turned into a two-shot. I swear, a lot of one-shots end up being 2 or 3 shots because there isn't enough time to finish them, right? Or, you know, something that is like a long, like one-shot campaign that feels like, you know, 10, 12 hours or something. Oh, obviously it doesn't end, but you get what I'm saying. It's like a whole adventure in a setting instead of a couple encounters. Does that make sense? I don't know. Kind of, like when I watch Stranger Things, it reminds me of when I would play as a kid. When we'd have like all our friends over on the weekend, we'd have all our snacks, our sleeping bags, and we'd set up in someone's room or basement, and we'd play D&D like all night, all weekend. You know what I mean? Oh, I agree. It takes a lot to do. Okay, so this is a dungeon where an evil necromancer is experimenting on a war forge. The end is where the Daimar is trying to transfer a soul into a child, hence the two seats. Lots of traps. It was first dungeon, so it was lore heavy, the scene. It was a blast to play through. Did your players enjoy it? Excuse me. Where's the entry point? I'm assuming over here. That or we'd have a night and just played all night like N64 or SNES. We'd like hook up the N64, a couple of N64s to the TVs and play GoldenEye all night, or play Army Men all night, or Mario, or later on it'd be Halo. But man, I do miss the all-nighter D&D sessions, because nowadays when I play, it's like a strict clock. It feels like I'm going to like a therapist sometimes, because it's like as soon as the hour's up, the time's up, they're like, okay, we're wrapping up, everyone. We'll see you at the next session. you know? Bane, those were the days. Man, I have a copy of Final Fantasy 2 and 3 for SNES. The blue barrier. Where's the blue barrier? Here is the entry point. So, okay. I'm assuming this was a puzzle. Did your players have to get past this? Oh, wow. So, how did you play it? That makes sense, Will. And I'm not saying it's a problem. Like, I understand there's situations where timing is of the essence, especially when time zones are involved. I miss that aspect of when I was younger, that like games went until they were like a conclusive part of the story, not just on a time. You know what I mean? And I'm sure all of us would love our D&D sessions to last, 8-10 hours if we could handle it, if our lives weren't in the way, our money responsibilities, our family responsibilities, our other hobbies and, needs as humans. It's just crazy how much easier that was to do when we were young kids. You know what I mean? So how did they get past this barrier? So, a barrel could go through it, so they just rolled through in a barrel or something? Oh my gosh. Bane, that's funny. My buddy's mom was a dispatcher as well, and similar things. We'd play on his computer all night, like playing King's Quest, or like what was the like Crystal Cavern, right? I believe that's what it was called. Or Colossal Cave, is that what it's called? Something like that. One of those names. And we'd play that like all night long. And then she'd come home after working all night as a 911 dispatcher, and she'd be like, "You guys are still up?" Oh yeah, King's Quest was my thing back in the day. Loved games like King's Quest. Ooh, not fun to run into that, right? Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. That's smart. That's really cool. How does it... Okay, so how do they get to this other section? Is there like a secret door I'm missing here? Let's, you didn't start playing D&D until you were 52, Random Ladybird? Dang. I think the first time I played D&D, I was like 7. Maybe 6 or 7. Ah, the altar moves aside. Gotcha. And then that's how you get through. Interesting. Cool. Cool, cool. Just so you know, and obviously this would kind of break immersion here in this case. So we actually have a secret door that matches this wall type. It's like a perfect match. So you could have like something like this, right? And then it would actually flip open. You could do 2 of them, like this. Now, the downside of these is they have pillars, right? So the pillars are kind of obvious that something's there. But if they're in the center of the room and you actually put some decorations on them, they look a little more normal, right? You could probably put like a wall-mounted object on it of some sort, like a shield or a weapon or something that would make sense on the wall there as part of the ritual. Maybe like one of these, like a statue or something. Something like that. Like some lights. Oh, those aren't even attached to the wall? What the heck is going on? That is weird. Huh. There's a spy. Ah, yeah, the spider webs imply that. Cool. This is really cool. I'm sure it looks like your players probably enjoyed this a lot. You can see different traps, different encounters. How many sessions did this take to get through? Right, Will, though? Like, wouldn't it be great to have a good 10-hour session? I understand it's not reasonable nowadays, but man, that would be fun. Uh-oh. Are you aware there's a door here that can go outside? Actually, this wouldn't even be a wall. Technically, it's a door, so it may not snap to it at all. Man, isn't that great when your players solve your puzzles quickly? They're not hung up on doors forever. And then the session just happens. Yeah, here, I'll delete that for you. I really like this door, though. This is a good one with the big skull on it. Turn it around this way. It's like, oh, death ahead. Did you get any players downed that session, or was there any trouble for them, or did they breeze through everything? I like the acid pit puzzle. That's cool. Hey, Atlam, can you ban that person? If you click on their name, I believe right-click on it or left-click on it, there'll be a little circle icon with a line through it for banning. If you hover over it, it should allow you to. Thank you. There you go. You got to learn how to ban and use a command in the same stream. Not bad. Thank you so much. Like we need viewers. We have the best community in the world, first off. And paying for viewers, I will tell all the content creators out there, Do not fall into that trap. Paying for viewers will not help you grow. It's fake. They're not real people watching you. So, I mean, at best, you might get some temporary people watching you because it looks like a lot of people are watching you. But people will notice your chat isn't moving. There's not a lot of interaction. And before too long, it will negatively affect your stream. It may look good on paper at first, but over time, only way to grow is organically. And I mean, oh yeah, it is a great way to get banned too. Definitely don't inflate your numbers with bots. I don't use Stream Elements. I appreciate the offer though, Wardian. That means a lot. Sorry, I use Mix It Up for Twitch. That being said, I should probably adapt to a bot that'll work across as many platforms as possible. So I'm gonna look into something like that. Offhand, does Stream Elements work on like YouTube and multiple platforms simultaneously, so it'll monitor the chats, or is it only really Twitch? Dramascape? I'm not familiar with that. So I think, earlier we were talking about a potential theme for the Dam Challenge, and Ambush came up. I think Ambush is the winner. So we'll do Ambush as our next theme for the Dam Challenge. It's okay. Just because we've had something before doesn't mean we shouldn't do it again. Plus, if it's been long enough, it's been so long that, new people are part of our community that'll give them a chance to make something like that in the challenge. That being said, if you find it problematic, we can discuss that. Honestly, like, I would remember a map if I saw it, but it's been so long since we did the Ambush Dam Challenge, I barely remember any of the entries. Yeah, it was so long. It's been like 2 years, basically, since we've done an Ambush one, so it wouldn't be a big deal if we did another one. Alrighty. So I think that's what we'll do, is Ambush. Atlam, if you could grab that one, my friend. Just ban that person, please. Here, I'll get him. Oh, you got him. Right? That was something else. Let's take a look at this sanatorium. Honestly, I'm surprised that those names are... Part of the reason is, for a long time, Discord basically didn't offer, like, number tags at the end so multiple people could have the same username. That was a recent addition in the last few years. So prior to that, every username, like, was only one person could have it. So a lot of people would put numbers before or after. Now, a lot of people can share the same username, but then they have a little number code after theirs unless they're the original, like, username. Yeah, I think 2 years is more than enough time. So many new people have joined our community since then, and honestly, Dungeon Alchemist has changed a ton since then. So doing Ambush again it would just be a completely new set of maps at this point. You know what I mean? So if anyone's interested in participating in this, dam challenge, the next dam challenge will be Ambush. So make a map of any shape or size using Ambush as inspiration, and then you can share that map in our Discord in the Dam Challenge channel. There's some rules pinned in that channel to follow. As long as you follow those rules, your entry will be definitely accepted, and you'll have a chance to win a $10 Hero Forge gift card. Man, I really like this in the center. That is beautiful. But yeah, you would think Twitch would just, like, immediately ban anyone trying to type cheap viewers on whatever with a link. Like, they should just auto-ban. Yeah, it's more secure that way, right? Because they all filter in from their different blocks into one small section. But this is like an old abandoned insane asylum. This is the kind of thing you would see a video for on TikTok, and somebody would be doing like urbex and exploration. They'd be walking around through it like this. Be like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is so scary. Did you hear that? Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, it's just a mouse. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, whoa, oh, it's just some wood. Okay, we're good. Is that still water? That's still water. I don't want to go over there. That's essentially every single urbex TikTok that I've ever seen. Honestly, there's an entire vein of what I call brain rot content on TikTok. TikTok actually has some interesting, useful, helpful content. And I do kind of like short form for getting your point across. I don't think a video needs to be an hour long to teach you something. Like, it's great. And it allows people to learn skills or get up-to-date information relatively quick. From outside of, say, news sources, for instance. But at the same time, it is rife with incredibly dumb content that is just people who have no narratable ability, no storytelling ability, and essentially just sit there and point or like move their hand like this and like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. When people kind of like constantly, I don't know how to explain it. Like when they're... And then I went into this room and I looked around and I realized it was abandoned. And then I went into this room and saw all these really cool glass vials. And then I went into this room. It's not like high quality or high value content. Like, thank you for telling me the thing you're doing. Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's a bunch of... The ones that make me laugh are the spoof hacks where they use like ramen to fix everything. Have you seen those videos? They're kind of a meme now where they'll like, here's a broken piece of wood. Let's fix it with ramen. Here's a broken car. We'll fix it with ramen. You know what I mean? I don't know. Those were pretty funny. They're a little bit older now, but I enjoy content when it's like obviously clearly satire. But there is definitely a lot of low value, like low production level brain rot content on pretty much every social network now, due in part to short form content becoming very mainstream. I really like this map. You know what it needs though? Right? It's a life hack when you're just learning how to do it right. The thing is everyone sees it as a life hack because there's an entire generation of parents who didn't teach their kids how to do things. Okay? So, realistically, like it's kind of, the blame is on both ends of the spectrum. There's an entire generation of youth that doesn't know how to, like, do everyday things around the house, use, like, analog items, or even use their computer. Gotcha. But I do think people use the terminology life hack because it is algorithmically pleasant. It boosts stuff, right? We've got hacks, and we've got hacks with wiffle ball bats. I like this a lot. I like it a lot. This is good map. Very cool. All right, everyone. It is past the hour, so we're going to wrap up the stream. I really appreciate everyone that hung out today for the Damn Challenge. Thank you for everyone that was here chatting, providing support, answering questions, and for loving all the amazing entries in the Damn Challenge. Remember, if you want to enter in the next Damn Challenge, the theme we have chosen on is ambush. Using ambush as inspiration, make a map of any shape or size and submit it to the Damn Challenge channel in our official Discord. Can we get a Discord link drop, please, in chat? Our official Discord is kind of the big, like, main location of all our user community. There's over 33,000 members in our community. It's a great place to get support. There's 2 channels dedicated to support. One's called Support Forum. The other one's called Question Forum. You can hang out and chat with other GMs to get ideas for your campaign or run ideas by them to see if it's a good idea or if the encounter is viable or if the stat block's good, etc. There's places to just hang out and chat and, you know, vibe with other cartographers. And lastly, there's places to share your maps and other creations that you make for Dungeon Alchemist. I would love if any of you here who are not members of our Discord to go check it out. Asmodeus, can you drop the Damn Challenge link on, or the Discord link, not the Damn Challenge link, the Discord link on YouTube? And Atlam, if you could do it on Steam, that'd be amazing. I'd appreciate it. But ultimately, just want this link out for everyone so you can know where to kind of find support and get assistance during the week. We also offer a stream every Wednesday in our Discord called Office Hours. It's where we just kind of hang out, vibe, share ideas, provide live support. Those streams are AMA, so you can drop in and get support and watch how to, you know, see something is done from start to finish. And every Monday we offer a stream called the Map Maker Monday stream, where we hang out and I build a map live so you can watch a map be built in real time, provide suggestions, and also just learn from someone who has tons and tons of time making maps in Dungeon Alchemist. Those streams are also AMA format, so if you have questions, concerns, you know, feedback, suggestions, feel free to drop in on any of our streams and you can get support or get your concerns addressed. Thank you everyone for being here today. Again, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility available on Steam. It allows you to build maps in a snap using our proprietary AI that was developed entirely in-house using our own assets and our own data sets. At no point were public assets, maps, or data scraped to train our AI. And if anything, it's more like last-gen procedural AI. It's not generative AI. So, putting that out there, definitely different, but very useful AI. We think using AI to make maps to speed up your session prep is a very ethical and useful, a viable use for AI. Anyway, thank you again for participating in the stream. We'll be back on Monday with Mapmaker Monday, but until then, we'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye. Bye, everyone. Unfortunately, no, Bane. It will not. That being said, AIs like, ChatGPT could probably use Dungeon Alchemist to make maps at some point if they got smart enough. Eliza's on it. Maybe 2.0. Who knows what the future will hold. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. We'll see you around. Bye.